Hello, Christopher Hire, Director Data, 2thinknow. What we do at 2thinknow is we measure data about cities. And what we've been able to do for the last 11 years is publish from our original research the Innovation Cities Index, which is an index ranking cities for innovation preconditions. Why does that matter? Well, why it matters is this. You're trying to make change initiatives in your organisation. You're trying to create change and to deliver change to your stakeholders. The problem with that is it's very hard to update progress. Everybody wants a progress report, but change initiatives take 2, 3, 4 years, sometimes 7 years. And as you're going along, people want to see your progress, but you can't show them progress. So all you can do is give them updates without metrics. And this, of course, is not a very popular thing to do and requires a lot of explanation and difficulty on your part. So in city government, sometimes the change initiatives that you're working on can show fruit over a period of time. Sometimes you can leave a job and the change initiative will then bear fruit. So what we've seen is we've seen or been able to measure the progress of change initiatives in cities like Chicago, which has upticked in our index recently. Cities like Denver, which many of you now know has become one of the hottest cities, for startups, for tech, for airport connectivity, for everything. We've been predicting that for a few years. Also Austin, Texas. A lot of you have been probably referencing Austin, Texas as a case study city now. So we've been predicting that, and you can see that in the past few years of the index, over that 11 years of creating the Innovation Cities Index, that basically you can see that we've been referencing that. And so what I'm saying is that we can predict the preconditions of innovation. We can measure early change because we have current data, not data that's 5 years old or 4 years old or 3 years old, but we have actual current data, which we collect from a variety of sources. We're able to create the Innovation Cities Index, but also able to focus that just on your change initiatives, just on what you're trying to achieve. You have a strategy, you have a plan, you have everything from that you've agreed internally from your city government. And what you really want to do is you want to create that change, and you're trying to make it more livable, more sustainable, more mobile, better transport, better employment, economic development, whatever it is you're trying to achieve. We've covered 31 segments in the Innovation Cities Index. We're often capturing it. But what we are doing is basically, now we want to do is focus on just those initiatives for you. So what you're trying to achieve, we want to give you the metrics to achieve that, to measure that. The more you measure it, of course, the better you get at it. That's another good thing about measuring something. So what we want to do as an independent data provider, not hostage to you, not hostage to anyone, is basically provide you with the data to show the progress of your change initiatives over time, over a few years. And so that you can say, this is how we're doing, this is what's happening, this is how we're doing relative to a competing basket of cities, this is how we're actually achieving our change initiatives. And this is what this independent organisation says about it. Now we're sharing the same data with everyone, so we can't skew it towards anyone. So basically we're sharing the same data with one city or another corporation. Corporations are relying on this data for investment purposes at times. So basically what we're doing is sharing that data, and that data is becoming over time very trusted and very developed, and what we're doing is sharing that with you so you can see the progress of your change initiatives. So we call this a mini index or a scorecard, where basically we're scoring your city for innovation in a particular area. Sustainability is one that's very popular. Mobility is extremely hot right now. That can include scooters, but that could also include Uber, which is now a more of an established platform, but also mobility in things such as public transport, which is a much more infrastructure heavy mobility. We've been looking at mobility rates, we've got heuristics, we've been collecting data on 500 cities now for a few years. We provide the data to the consulting firm Deloitte for their mobility indexes. But basically what we do is we gather data about cities for all these different indicators and all these different data points. And what we can do is focus that just on what you're doing and say, this is what the data says about what you're doing, and this is the change initiative. We can guide you and help you, particularly if you take a city package, where we can assist you in developing your strategy, just to make sure that the metrics are basically supporting what you're doing and saying, hey, we're achieving this positive change. These are the metrics we're using to measure it. These independent people are measuring it for us, and they're measuring it for everyone else. And what we're doing is basically creating change in the world, step by step, not some massive change that just radically throws everything out, but basically a simple changes, step by step by step, which are measured incrementally, and you've got a 3-month update, 3-month update, 3-month update. We're looking at monthly updates. At the moment it's quarterly. Quarterly is good because it means that you're not getting asked, why did this number go up, why did this number go down? Quarterly sort of sits nicely, and that's why we do quarterly at the moment. Monthly requires you to smooth out volatility, and people always ask questions. Quarterly is good because you can always report on that. We can also do annually if you prefer to be a little bit slower in your change initiatives. But basically, what we're doing with this scorecard is taking the technology from this index, which we've developed over 11 years of R&D and 11 years of large media coverage and lots of articles and the World Economic Forum quote it and all sorts of people quote it. We've basically taken that and we're putting it into this scorecard for you to measure your success and your initiatives and your strategy and how your city is doing against your stated benchmarks. And we will guide you with creating metrics and guide you with creating things so that you can understand where your city's standing at. So that's what we're offering in this product. We're offering to take your city and measure it and say, this is how your change initiatives are going. If it's sustainability, that's fine. If it's mobility, that's fine. We've got indicators for that. We've got data points for that. If it's anything else, if it's basically economic development or jobs, we've been collecting data on that for some time. So we can look at all those things and look at the broad suite of initiatives that you're doing and say, on this particular strategy, this is how you're doing over time. And that's a great thing. And that shows the progress of your change. So you can answer the question, how are we doing? Because nobody can answer that question at the moment. We're just going to say, oh, there's some study over here. Oh, there was some contest over here. But hey, where's the hard number? Where's the actual metrics on how we're doing? And why would we trust that metric? We trust it because it's independent and it's structured and you can see it over time. And that's what we're working on at 2thinknow. We hope to work with you soon.